Hello and welcome all. Now, here's my reminder to all my men out there to order your flowers now so you aren't screwing yourself come Valentine's Day next week. You're welcome. Now, while you surf the web for some overpriced flowers, let me fill you in on some military news from this week. Welcome to the Debrief. You know, being in the military is a one-of-a-kind and truly amazing experience. However, the dangers of the job can often be overlooked, and you don't have to be deployed to know that you are in harm's way. And that is why I have endless respect for the people who have done the job and the ones that continue to do the job. So with that being said, and with a heavy heart, I must report that we have recently learned the fate of the 5 Marines who were recently reported as missing. Now, the aircrew of the CH-53 Echo Super Stallion helicopter were flying from Creech Air Force Base in Clark County, Nevada to Marine Corps Air Station Miramar when their flight never arrived. Search and rescue team efforts began with the help of numerous federal, state, and local agencies such as the San Diego Sheriff's Department, our Border Patrol, and the U.S. Forest Service. And inclement weather made for an extremely challenging hunt as terrain became very restrictive in the mountains where the Super Stallion was last seen. 2 days after searching and 1 day after locating the helicopter site, our 5 Marines have been confirmed as deceased. My condolences to the families of our fallen service members. Now, I hope you know that your country is grieving alongside you. On a higher note, and no pun intended, the Navy is now allowing recruits to show up to Navy boot camp in Great Lakes, Illinois, with detectable amounts of THC in their system. Now, I always knew that wasn't just tobacco that Popeye was smoking. As recruiting numbers are dwindling, the Navy believes that its solution will turn the tide in their favor. They believe that if new recruits do not pass the initial drug screening and just own up to their marijuana use, the Navy will be able to assess that young person to see if there are other issues. They also believe that through the course of basic training, that they will initially kick the habit of these service members and have them mesh with military culture. Now, it sounds to me like the Navy has officially become the woman in a toxic relationship with the I can fix them mentality. So if you want to smoke trees and green out up until the day you leave for Navy boot camp, be my guest. And I'm not sure what is going on with the Navy as of recently, especially in regards to recruiting. Before this whole weed thing started, they were also allowing people without high school degrees or GEDs to enlist. And that news was only from a few weeks ago. A diploma or a GED is literally the minimum requirement to join most militaries. No offense to anyone who hasn't completed high school, but typically the ones that I have encountered in my life were not the most driven people. And now they can literally be surrounded and possibly placed in charge of really, really expensive and dangerous things. Now, I swear whoever's in charge of the new Navy recruiting station probably wears Pit Viper sunglasses, makes TikToks while they're at work, and says things possibly like, yo, this chow is bussin', no cap. But who cares as long as we make our numbers, right? It's all about quantity and not about quality. And that is no cap. Moving on to our final piece of good old news. If you recall my tangent about letting Iran-based militias run around the Middle East unchecked, well, I'm sure you will be glad to know that my complaint has managed to make its way all the way up the chain, the Pentagon. reported that 40 militants have been confirmed dead after a wave of 85 strikes on Iran-linked targets. Now, these strikes were a direct retaliation from the 3 lives lost at Tower 22 in Jordan. Although this is awesome news, it could have been a little bit better if the title of this article read, "All Iran-backed militia groups destroyed entirely," but in my opinion, I'll take whatever I can get. Just like the additional US strikes in Yemen the day after that took out 100 missile and missile launchers, as well as communication capabilities, unmanned aerial vehicles, unmanned surface vessels, coastal radars, air surveillance capabilities, weapon storage areas, a lot of the nitty-gritty that helps these freaking terrorists. With all the excitement, a US spokesperson told reporters that the US does not want escalation and that these strikes are directly in response to the actions by the Iranian-backed Houthis in Yemen. Again, however, we will not hesitate to defend the lives and the free flow of commerce in one of the world's most vital waterways. I'm no expert, and that's why I'm here. But if you don't want retaliation, maybe you should have killed them all. But regardless of the circumstances, one of my favorite things about growing up as an American was having the reputation that if someone messed with you, they would wind up dead. So it gives me a great feeling knowing that the people responsible for the attacks in Jordan have taken a dirt nap that they won't be waking up from anytime soon. And if you agree, subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up, because that is going to do it for this week's episode. So get down in that comment section and let me know what you guys thought about the military news from this week. My name is Cameron Fath, and I will see you all on a new episode next week of The Debrief.